The Devagana Anuradha Nakshatra. Anuradha Nakshatra, located entirely in Scorpio and ruled by Saturn, is symbolized by the lotus flower, a sacred emblem of spiritual perseverance, emotional depth, and blossoming through adversity. As a Devagana Nakshatra, Anuradha expresses its divine essence through loyalty, inner strength, relational devotion, and disciplined emotional growth. When the Ascendant, Moon, or Venus is placed in Anuradha, these Deva qualities manifest through a persona that is intensely sincere, spiritually motivated, and emotionally dependable. When the Ascendant falls in Anuradha, the native's outer personality is composed, magnetic, and protective. There's a natural maturity in their approach to life. These are individuals who seem emotionally seasoned even from a young age. The Devagana energy here makes them trustworthy, principled, and emotionally anchored, even if they operate behind a veil of mystery or restraint. Despite the Scorpio depth, their divine nature keeps them committed to integrity, transformation through grace, and a desire to help others evolve through loyalty and guidance. With the moon placed in Anuradha, the emotional temperament becomes devoted, focused, and spiritually resilient. These individuals experience intense emotional depths, but the Devagana tones down the destructiveness often associated with Scorpio and channels it toward healing, emotional responsibility, and silent inner strength. They are emotionally loyal and take relationships seriously, often carrying karmic bonds from past lives. Their heart is steady, their affections deep, and their emotional fulfillment comes from forming meaningful, soul-level connections based on truth and endurance. When Venus is placed in Anuradha, the approach to relationships is marked by devotion, emotional protection, and spiritual bonding. These natives seek loyalty, depth, and shared transformation with their partner. The Devagana here transforms Venus in Scorpio from being intensely sensual to being sacredly committed. Love is seen as a path of mutual growth and emotional purification. These individuals are not interested in superficial romance. They crave emotional depth, spiritual resonance, and enduring partnership. Their love language is often silent sacrifice, soulful loyalty, and being a constant through life's darkest seasons. Across Ascendant, Moon, and Venus, Anuradha reflects the Devagana's strength of silent service, emotional integrity, and soul-centered purpose. Despite being in Scorpio, the sign associated with secrecy and emotional intensity, Anuradha's Deva quality purifies this energy, redirecting it toward emotional mastery, relational trust, and dharmic perseverance. These individuals are protectors, not possessors. Their relationships, work, and spiritual journey are guided by a quiet, unwavering sense of duty and devotion. Saturn's rulership further amplifies the karmic responsibility and emotional discipline of Anuradha. These natives are not impulsive. They understand timing, patience, and the long arc of transformation. They can endure great emotional trials without bitterness, and in doing so, inspire others through their grace under pressure and unshakable moral spine. The diva essence in them doesn't need to preach. It lives through lived example and calm constancy. The deeper spiritual path of Anuradha often involves evolving through emotional surrender rather than control, and opening the heart without compromising on boundaries. They are often old souls drawn to deep mysticism, spiritual sciences, or healing arts, where their intuitive depth and emotional gravity can be used for the greater good. Their divine task is not to escape pain, but to transform it into devotion, discipline, and dharmic leadership. In relationships, Venus in Anuradha seeks deep emotional union with spiritual commitment. They are not swayed by surface attraction. They look for soul compatibility and a partner who can withstand storms without leaving. The Devagana energy here gives them a sacred view of love, one that sees relationships as spiritual contracts meant to evolve both souls. Their love is fierce but faithful, passionate yet principled, anchored in something higher than just romance. The Devagana, Ashwini Nakshatra, Part 1. Ashwini Nakshatra, the very first among the 27 lunar constellations, falls entirely in Aries and is ruled by Ketu. As a Devagana Nakshatra, Ashwini represents swift, radiant, and altruistic divine qualities. It carries the symbolism of the Ashwini Kumaras, celestial healers and physicians of the gods, known for their quick responsiveness, youthful energy, and commitment to service. When planets like the Ascendant, Lagna, Moon, or Venus are placed in Ashwini, these Devagana traits shape different dimensions of the native's personality, emotional life, and relationships. When the Ascendant is in Ashwini Nakshatra, the entire persona radiates a vital, healing, and enthusiastic aura. These individuals naturally appear driven, dynamic, and spirited. They carry the essence of divine spontaneity, acting quickly to assist or fix problems, much like the celestial twins they represent. Their physical presence is often magnetic, charged with youthfulness, and their dharma leans toward initiating change or guiding others through transformation. The Devagana essence here manifests as a noble instinct to help, lead, and uplift, even when unasked. With the moon placed in Ashwini, the mind is naturally quick, pure-hearted, and idealistic. Emotional responses are swift but not impulsive. They are born of an inner desire to do good and restore balance. These natives carry sattvic emotional clarity, often striving to maintain inner peace and harmony in their environment. Their emotional life is nourished by helping others or being in roles where their presence heals or inspires. The Devagana moon also gives them a devotional streak, often aligning their mental processes with spiritual or ethical frameworks. When Venus is in Ashwini, the Devagana qualities color the natives' approach to love, marriage, and beauty. They tend to be affectionate, graceful, and idealistic in relationships. Their way of loving is unselfish, supportive, and uplifting, seeking to protect and elevate the spouse or partner. There is a romantic charm here that blends innocence with dynamism, and they may attract or be attracted to partners who are youthful, vital, or even spiritually aligned. Their relationship dharma often involves being a catalyst for healing or growth in the lives of their partners. In all three placements, the core Devagana themes that stand out are purity of intent, swift responsiveness, healing orientation, and nobility of spirit. Whether it's in personality, emotional patterns, or relationships, Ashwini natives with these placements tend to operate from a high vibrational plane, even if their life is outwardly fast-paced or unconventional. Their challenges usually involve learning to balance speed with patience and recognizing that not everyone shares their divine sense of urgency or idealism. These placements also signify a life guided by divine service or mission-driven action. There's an unshakable inner compass that pulls them toward roles of guidance, rescue, or awakening, whether as teachers, therapists, first responders, or even spiritual catalysts. Ashwini's Ketu rulership adds a layer of detachment and mystical grace, making their service more selfless than strategic. They don't just help because it's good, they help because they are wired to. In synastry and compatibility, Devagana placement in Ashwini via Moon, Venus, or Lagna indicates someone who may feel emotionally overwhelmed by harsh or selfish energies. They are most harmonious with those who respect purity, purpose, and movement. When matched well, they act as energetic uplifters in relationships, helping their partners rise to their potential without preaching or controlling. Their love language is often acts of service and spiritual encouragement. For students and practitioners of Vedic astrology, identifying Ashwini as a Devagana Nakshatra across key planets like Moon, Venus, and Ascendant opens up a clear, archetypal framework to understand the divine personality blueprint at play. These individuals are often born initiators, bringing light, action, and renewal into the world around them, not through force, but through the quiet spark of celestial grace. The Devagana Hasta Nakshatra. Hasta Nakshatra, entirely located in Virgo and ruled by the moon, is symbolized by an open hand, representing skill, healing, service, and graceful action. As a Devagana Nakshatra, Hasta expresses divinity through refined craftsmanship, humility, helpfulness, and emotionally intelligent communication. This nakshatra reflects the divine impulse to serve with skill and care, and when the Ascendant, Moon, or Venus is placed in Hasta, it shapes the personality, emotional patterns, and relationship approach through graceful discipline and nurturing intelligence. When the Ascendant is in Hasta, the personality exudes composure, intelligence, and approachability. These individuals are often admired for their ability to bring order, structure, and beauty into everyday life. Their presence is humble yet capable. They tend to be excellent with their hands, words, or systems. The Devagana quality shows through a desire to serve others with skill and sincerity, often in practical, grounded ways. Their demeanor is diplomatic, tactful, and polished, and they intuitively understand how to handle people and situations with subtle mastery. With the moon in Hasta, the emotional nature becomes sensitive, attentive, and nurturing, with a strong need for emotional clarity. These individuals are emotionally responsive, but not reactive. They process feelings carefully and express themselves with refined emotional awareness. The Devagana quality here manifests as an innate need to heal, protect, and stabilize, often through acts of care, whether physical, verbal, or energetic. They're emotionally fulfilled when they feel useful and when their care is received and reciprocated with appreciation. When Venus is placed in Hasta, love and relationships are approached with devotion, sensitivity, and craftsmanship. These individuals love through service, small details, and consistent affection. They don't seek dramatic displays, but value emotional dependability, practical support, and mutual respect. The Devagana expression in Venus here is deeply elegant. Relationships are meant to be well tended, like a garden. They are loving without being possessive, attentive without being invasive, and emotionally generous without expecting grand gestures in return. All three placements, Ascendant, Moon, and Venus, channel Hasta's Devagana through sincerity, modesty, and emotional discernment. These individuals thrive in roles where they can heal, refine, and support, especially when they are allowed to express their natural skills and intuitive intelligence. They often act as quiet anchors in both personal and professional environments, bringing harmony through organization and presence, not control. Though ruled by the moon, Hasta is an earthy Virgo, so these Deva energies are not abstract or mystical, but rather embodied through routine, order, and precision. These natives often possess strong hands, calm eyes, and a steady demeanor, and they often excel in healing arts, fine motor skills, or communication-based roles. Their spiritual evolution is driven by refining their inner emotional rhythm, learning when to give, when to hold back, and when to detach with grace. One of the core divine traits of Hasta is the ability to bring grace into mundane action, turning daily life into a form of spiritual service. Their healing is not loud or symbolic. It is seen in the way they comfort others, ease burdens, or bring calm to chaos. There is a quiet power in their capacity to hold space, stay grounded, and maintain inner peace amidst external uncertainty. In romantic relationships, Venus in Hasta prefers gentle affection, mutual caretaking, and intelligent companionship. These natives are not emotionally showy, but are deeply devoted once trust is established. They express love through quiet loyalty, meaningful gestures, and unwavering support. Their Devagana nature makes them emotionally ethical. They do not manipulate or play games, and they value transparency and effort in partnerships. Their love, like their hand, is open, offering support, not control, care, not command. The Devagana Mrigashira Nakshatra, Part 1. Mrigashira Nakshatra, spanning the signs of Taurus and Gemini and ruled by Mars, is the second nakshatra classified under Devagana. Symbolized by the head of a deer, it reflects a soul in constant quest, curious, perceptive, and seeking truth or fulfillment beyond the material plane. As a Devagana Nakshatra, Mrigashira expresses a unique blend of divine restlessness and innocent wonder, imbuing those with key planets here, especially Moon, Venus, or Ascendant, with a refined and gentle psychic nature. When the Ascendant is in Mrigashira, the native appears graceful, youthful, and approachable. There's an inherent delicacy to their mannerisms. People often find them intelligent yet non-threatening. As a Devagana rising sign, Mrigashira makes the personality inquisitive, emotionally refined, and ethically driven. These individuals are not confrontational, but remain alert and thoughtful, often searching for depth or meaning in everything they experience. Their approach to life is that of a seeker, open to knowledge, movement, and experiences that awaken inner growth. If the moon is placed in Mrigashira, the emotional nature is sensitive, curious, and idealistic. These individuals often feel things deeply, but do not wear their hearts on their sleeves. Instead, their emotional world is shaped by a desire to understand and refine. The deer symbolism plays out here. Cautious, aware, always watching, always wondering. Their Devagana quality shows up in their ethical emotional choices, need for gentle environments, and discomfort with conflict or harshness. They thrive emotionally when surrounded by sincerity, nature, and honest intellectual exchange. With Venus in Mrigashira, the relationship style becomes tender, elegant, and searching. These individuals crave emotional connection with a sense of discovery. They want their love life to feel like a sacred journey. Their romantic expression is infused with innocence, playfulness, and curiosity, but also a need for respect and emotional safety. The Devagana influence brings a deep aversion to manipulation or force. They value consensual emotional intimacy, mutual exploration, and intellectual stimulation in partnerships. There's also an aesthetic refinement, graceful, natural, and often minimalist in romantic gestures. All three placements, Ascendant, Moon, and Venus, share a consistent Deva quality of refined sensitivity, non-aggression, and a deep-rooted desire for harmony. Mrigashira natives are often misunderstood as restless or indecisive, but this stems from their divine longing to explore and connect beyond superficial layers. They may change paths or relationships not out of instability, but out of the need to feel aligned with a higher internal truth. The journey of the deer is sacred, and so is theirs. Mrigashira also carries a natural healing instinct, especially through the mind. These natives are often gifted in counseling, teaching, writing, or wellness fields, where their gentle nature and insightful mind can guide others. They are not direct like Ashwini. Instead, they heal by inviting others into stillness, reflection, or self-inquiry. The Devagana here offers softer wisdom, inviting peace rather than enforcing it. Where Ashwini operates like a divine responder, Mrigashira works as a divine listener, absorbing, intuiting, and adjusting to the energy around them. Their spiritual evolution often depends on learning to ground their search, rather than escape through it. The more they feel emotionally safe, the more they share their innate healing gifts. In relationships, Mrigashira's Devagana placement in Venus especially calls for mutual respect, space, and sincerity. These natives dislike intensity or possessiveness and prefer relationships that are playful, intellectually engaging, and emotionally safe. Their love grows when they're allowed to explore and when their inner voice is respected. Let me know if you'd like to continue this series for Pushya, the next Devagana Nakshatra. The Devagana, Punarvasu Nakshatra. Punarvasu Nakshatra, spanning the signs of Gemini and Cancer, is ruled by Jupiter and symbolized by a quiver of arrows, suggesting restoration, return, and inner renewal. As part of the Devagana, this nakshatra expresses divine qualities through resilience, wisdom, nurturing strength, and inner optimism. When key personal planets like the Ascendant, Moon, or Venus are placed in Punarvasu, the Deva energy becomes foundational in shaping the persona, emotional temperament, and relationship patterns. With the Ascendant in Punarvasu, the overall personality exudes gentleness, adaptability, and philosophical strength. These individuals are natural uplifters with a calm, nurturing energy that is rooted in faith, even in the face of adversity. They project a soothing aura and often act as stabilizers for others during emotional storms. The Devagana influence grants them a reliable, ethical, and emotionally intelligent demeanor, making them deeply respected even in understated ways. Their personal journey often involves returning to inner truth after periods of searching or temporary imbalance. When the moon is placed in Punarvasu, the emotional life is shaped by resilience and spiritual intelligence. These natives bounce back from emotional setbacks with a deep, almost divine sense of hope. They are emotionally generous, deeply compassionate, and often experience their feelings as part of a larger cosmic rhythm. The Devagana essence here makes them emotionally nourishing. Their presence alone can soothe others. Yet they are also deeply reflective, needing solitude to reconnect with their sense of divine direction and purpose. There's a purity in their emotional responses, guided more by insight than impulse. If Venus is in Punarvasu, the approach to love and relationships becomes ideally nurturing, wise, and forgiving. These individuals believe in second chances and long-term connection based on emotional safety and growth. Love is not rushed in Punarvasu. It is allowed to evolve, to heal, and to deepen. The Devagana influence is expressed in their ability to give without expectation, to restore emotional trust, and to be a safe emotional home for their partners. Their relationships often mirror a larger karmic pattern of healing or reunion after emotional fragmentation. Across all three placements, Ascendant, Moon, and Venus, the dominant Devagana qualities of hope, restoration, and compassionate intelligence are deeply felt. Punarvasu natives live with a quiet inner light, often acting as beacons for those lost in emotional or spiritual darkness. Unlike outwardly dynamic Deva Nakshatras like Ashwini, Punarvasu operates on a more inward spiritual current, balancing idealism with grounded emotional wisdom. Their strength is subtle but enduring, making them resilient in crises and hopeful even through sorrow. Punarvasu's Jupiterian rulership brings a profound philosophical and ethical dimension to their life choices. These individuals often carry ancient wisdom, and many are drawn to teaching, healing, counseling, or guiding others through moral or spiritual confusion. The Deva energy makes them lovers of truth, kindness, and inclusive thinking. Even when challenged, they return to alignment with their higher values, offering others a glimpse of what divine grace looks like in human form. Spiritually, Punarvasu people are often called to heal fractured beliefs, whether within themselves or others. They carry a karmic memory of returning home, emotionally, spiritually, or even physically. This theme of restoration and return defines much of their emotional and relational life. They are most content when they feel like they are nurturing something meaningful, be it family, truth, or their own evolving identity. In relationships, Punarvasu Venus types are most fulfilled when love feels safe, enduring, and spiritually uplifting. They are not drawn to dramatic or short-lived flings. Instead, they seek a bond that is emotionally enriching and karmically stabilizing. These are the partners who forgive, who believe in inner potential, and who keep showing up when others fade. Their love is a sanctuary, pure Devagana in motion. Their journey often involves learning to balance giving and receiving, and to avoid losing themselves in trying to restore others. But when integrated, Punarvasu becomes a powerful example of divine emotional mastery, faith in the face of adversity, and the unwavering light of inner truth. The Devagana Pushya Nakshatra, entirely placed in Cancer and ruled by Saturn, is considered one of the most auspicious nakshatras in Vedic astrology. Symbolized by the udder of a cow, it represents nourishment, protection, and selfless giving. As a Devagana Nakshatra, Pushya expresses divine qualities through nurturance, discipline, spiritual duty, and emotional containment. When the ascendant moon or Venus is placed in Pushya, these sattvic traits shape the native's personality, inner emotional world, and relationship values in profound and structured ways. When the ascendant is in Pushya, the basic personality is protective, composed, and quietly authoritative. These individuals embody a divine sense of responsibility and are naturally drawn toward roles of guidance, caretaking, or leadership rooted in service. Their outer demeanor often reflects calm assurance and traditional wisdom. As a Devagana ascendant, Pushya gives a dignified persona that honors structure and legacy. These natives are rarely loud or flashy. They lead by example, and others trust them instinctively for their emotional maturity and stabilizing presence. With the moon placed in Pushya, the emotional nature becomes deep, devotional, and emotionally resilient. These individuals may not express emotions openly, but their internal world is grounded in spiritual discipline and compassionate awareness. Their mind is structured around emotional protection, not just of themselves, but of others. They tend to take on emotional responsibility within families or communities. The Devagana influence here gives them the ability to endure emotional hardship while remaining nurturing and ethical, often becoming emotional anchors in turbulent environments. When Venus is in Pushya, relationships are approached with seriousness, loyalty, and a spiritual sense of duty. These individuals seek long-term emotional security and trust-based bonding, valuing commitment over fleeting pleasures. Their way of loving is modest yet deeply sincere. The Devagana nature expresses itself in how they serve and protect their partner, often putting the relationship's long-term health above short-term gratification. They are not driven by romance or passion alone. Rather, they express love through actions, responsibilities, and consistent emotional presence. In all three placements, Ascendant, Moon, and Venus, Pushya reveals a sacred balance between emotional depth and divine restraint. The Devagana traits emerge in their natural devotion to something higher, whether it's family, tradition, spiritual truth, or collective well-being. These natives are often entrusted with emotional leadership, even if they never seek it, because their presence naturally heals, grounds, and nurtures. They may walk a path of emotional solitude at times, but their deeper fulfillment comes from serving others with integrity. Pushya's Saturn rulership adds an element of austerity, inner discipline, and karmic maturity to the otherwise emotional Cancerian energy. These individuals may carry ancestral or familial burdens, but they transmute them through wisdom, patience, and spiritual resolve. They are the quiet builders of emotional legacies, nurturing not just people but values, traditions, and structures that outlive them. Their divine nature lies in consistency, loyalty, and moral clarity, especially when others falter. Their spiritual journey often involves learning to nurture without enabling and to distinguish between duty and self-sacrifice. Many Pushya natives struggle with emotional boundaries early in life, often giving too much without reciprocation. But as they mature, they evolve into guardians of emotional dharma, knowing exactly how to give without losing themselves. This mastery is where their Deva essence truly shines. In love and partnership, Pushya Venus types thrive in stable, emotionally safe environments. They are not drawn to unpredictable or shallow connections. Instead, they seek relationships where they can invest emotionally, support growth, and build something enduring. Their love is not loud, but it is deeply spiritual, aligned with values like respect, commitment, and shared growth. They are the protectors in relationships, embodying the divine parent, healer, and quiet strength that others can always return to. The Devagana Revati Nakshatra. Revati Nakshatra, the final of the 27 nakshatras, lies completely in Pisces and is ruled by Mercury. Its symbol is a pair of fish swimming, and its deity is Pushya, the divine protector of travelers, souls, and herds. As a Devagana Nakshatra, Revati embodies the essence of compassion, guidance, spiritual protection, and transcendental wisdom. When the ascendant, moon, or Venus is placed in Revati, the personality, emotional patterns, and relationship dynamics are influenced by a profound sense of divine care, inner light, and soulful generosity. With the ascendant in Revati, the individual presents themselves with an air of gentle wisdom, compassion, and ethereal charm. There's a softness in their presence that soothes others, even without words. Their personality naturally leans toward helping, guiding, or emotionally supporting others. As a Devagana ascendant, they are often idealistic and spiritually inclined, seen as selfless or even otherworldly. They embody a divine role of caretaker and guide, and often walk paths of healing, teaching, or artistic upliftment with a quiet sense of purpose and grace. When the moon is placed in Revati, the emotional world becomes expansive, tender, and deeply intuitive. These individuals feel everything on a soul level and are naturally drawn to protect or uplift others emotionally. Their inner world is marked by spiritual longing and emotional universality. They often sense the pain and beauty in all beings. The Devagana influence gives them a pure, devotional heart. They love deeply, heal through presence, and are often drawn to spiritual, artistic channels to express their emotions. Empathy is their emotional core, and solitude is their emotional sanctuary. With Venus in Revati, love becomes a path of devotion, compassion, and spiritual union. These individuals approach relationships with romantic idealism and soulful sincerity. They seek not just a partner, but a companion in spiritual growth and emotional resonance. The Devagana qualities here make them deeply giving, non-demanding, and forgiving in love. They tend to sacrifice for their loved ones, often placing the partner's emotional needs above their own. Their romantic energy flows like water, gentle, healing, and all-encompassing. Yet they may struggle if their kindness is taken for granted. Across all three placements, Ascendant, Moon, and Venus, Revati reflects the Devagana's highest expressions of emotional purity, divine service, and inner transcendence. These individuals live with one foot in the material world and one in the spiritual. They are often called to roles of guidance, care, or creative expression that allows their vast emotional and intuitive intelligence to shine. They are not aggressive or imposing, but their influence is quietly transformational, uplifting others simply by existing in alignment with divine compassion. Revati's Mercury rulership adds a layer of articulate sensitivity and intelligent expression to its Deva nature. These natives can be excellent poets, counselors, mystics, or storytellers, using words and ideas to heal or awaken. Their sensitivity is not weakness, it is a channel through which divine energy flows. They are perceptive of subtleties, often noticing emotional or spiritual undercurrents long before others do. Their dharma often involves helping others complete cycles, navigate endings, or reconnect with inner wholeness. The spiritual journey of Revati natives involves learning how to nurture without overextending, to give without depletion, and to stay grounded while walking the path of transcendence. Their challenge is often learning to balance idealism with reality, to love without losing themselves, and to serve without becoming martyrs. But when integrated, their Devagana shines as a radiant field of support, protection, and unconditional love. In relationships, Venus in Revati seeks emotional and spiritual merging. These natives are deeply loyal, affectionate, and nurturing. They are drawn to partners who respect their emotional depth and spiritual values. The Devagana influence makes them natural caretakers in love, but they must choose partners who cherish their softness and offer reciprocal emotional depth. Their love is a sanctuary, a prayer in motion, gentle, unconditional, and rooted in the divine desire to heal and be healed through union. The Devagana Shravana Nakshatra. Shravana Nakshatra, entirely situated in Capricorn and ruled by the moon, is symbolized by the ear, signifying listening, learning, and transmitting knowledge. As a Devagana Nakshatra, Shravana expresses divine qualities through wisdom sharing, humility, guidance, and ethical communication. It reflects the celestial duty of hearing the truth and passing it on responsibly. When the ascendant, moon, or Venus is placed in Shravana, the personality, emotional nature, and relationships are imbued with the divine impulses of dharma, service, and inner wisdom. With the ascendant in Shravana, the outward personality is dignified, disciplined, and quietly observant. These individuals carry a presence that is both humble and authoritative. They often act as silent guides or mentors, and others instinctively look to them for clarity and direction. The Devagana essence grants them an instinct to uplift others through counsel, tradition, or values-based leadership. Their charisma is subtle, rooted in knowledge, consistency, and the ability to remain grounded even when surrounded by chaos or confusion. When the moon is placed in Shravana, the emotional life is deep, thoughtful, and ethically tuned. These individuals feel most balanced when they are connected to truth, learning, and meaningful dialogue. Emotionally, they process through reflection and listening rather than impulsive reaction. The Devagana influence gives them a calm, emotionally mature approach, often making them the emotional anchor in family or social circles. Their minds are wired to absorb wisdom, and their heart seeks emotional purity through understanding, guidance, and service. With Venus in Shravana, love is approached through respect, communication, and quiet devotion. These natives desire stable, ethically aligned partnerships where both partners can grow in wisdom and responsibility. They are not necessarily flashy in romance, but express love through thoughtful gestures, loyalty, and deep listening. The Devagana influence here ensures their relationships are based on moral commitment and shared dharma, not just emotional attachment. They are the kind of partners who stay, support, and serve with quiet constancy. In all three placements, Ascendant, Moon, and Venus, Shravana reflects the Devagana's core ideals of truth, service, and spiritual maturity. These individuals often play the role of guardians of tradition, conveyors of sacred knowledge, or compassionate advisors. They live by principles and expect others to do the same. Whether through speech, silence, or example, they carry a frequency of guidance, attracting roles in teaching, counseling, healing, or community leadership. Though ruled by the moon, Shravana's placement in Capricorn tempers emotional volatility, grounding the lunar qualities into structured emotional awareness and karmic responsibility. These natives may be drawn to Vedic knowledge, philosophy, law, or ancient traditions. and they often have a deep sense of being responsible for others' well-being, not out of ego, but out of dharmic obligation. Their Devagana nature shines when they are placed in environments where they can both learn and teach in equal measure. The spiritual journey of Shravana natives involves learning to discern true knowledge from noise and sharing wisdom without attachment. Their divine gift lies in the ability to receive, filter, and transmit sacred truths, making them spiritual messengers in both subtle and overt ways. They often work behind the scenes, yet their influence is lasting and respected across generations. In relationships, Venus in Shravana seeks clarity, constancy, and communication rooted in values. These individuals are emotionally responsible partners who value shared ethics over emotional drama. The Devagana here offers love that nurtures through attention, listening, and guidance, rather than possessiveness or grand displays. Their relationships often mirror a karmic duty to uphold, support, and spiritually refine the partner while growing through mutual respect and service. Their love is a quiet vow, spoken through presence, duty, and sacred silence. The Devagana, Swati Nakshatra. Swati Nakshatra, entirely located in Libra and ruled by Rahu, is symbolized by a young sprout swaying in the wind, reflecting flexibility, independence, and the subtle power of movement. As a Devagana Nakshatra, Swati expresses its divine nature through graceful adaptability, refined intellect, and a desire for harmony without confinement. When the ascendant moon or Venus is placed in Swati, the personality, emotional disposition, and relationship dynamics are shaped by a dignified independence combined with idealistic softness. With the ascendant in Swati, the personality comes across as poised, diplomatic, and socially fluid. These individuals are elegant in their demeanor, well-spoken, non-imposing, and fair-minded. They embody the Devagana principle of seeking harmony over dominance, preferring negotiation to conflict. Their aura is light yet persuasive, and they carry an air of silent strength. Though ruled by Rahu, the Devagana placement tones down its intensity, making them more refined in ambition and graceful in their pursuit of freedom and individuality. When the moon is placed in Swati, the emotional core is idealistic, peace-seeking, and independent. These individuals require personal space to feel emotionally safe, but are emotionally generous when not restricted. They tend to process emotions intellectually and often serve as mediators or emotional stabilizers in social settings. The Devagana influence here fosters a subtle emotional nobility. They prefer clean emotional exchanges, dislike emotional manipulation, and are drawn to relationships that respect boundaries and mental stimulation. Their emotional clarity becomes more pronounced with time and maturity. With Venus in Swati, love is expressed through elegance, refinement, and a desire for balanced partnership. These individuals are charming, socially gracious, and often magnetic in subtle ways. They seek partners who respect their need for independence and intellectual space. The Devagana in Venus expresses as a love that uplifts without overpowering. They appreciate partners who are cultured, well-mannered, and emotionally intelligent. Their romantic ideal is based on mutual respect, grace, and emotional autonomy, not possessiveness or overt control. Across all three placements, Ascendant, Moon, and Venus, Swati reflects the Devagana's qualities of ethical independence, aesthetic intelligence, and karmic refinement. These individuals may appear soft, but they are internally resilient, guided by a quiet moral compass and a refined sense of personal dignity. They are often the peacemakers, diplomats, counselors, or graceful entrepreneurs, bridging gaps without confrontation and creating beauty without chaos. Swati's rulership by Rahu adds a layer of worldly ambition and curiosity, but the Devagana overlay ensures that their pursuits remain elevated, creative, and socially respectful. They often carry a subtle karmic mission to restore balance in relationships, ideas, or systems, not by force, but by influence. Their power lies in adaptability and inner equilibrium, which allows them to move through challenges with poise and awareness. These natives often walk a path of self-liberation through knowledge and balance. Spiritually, Swati invites the soul to learn the art of detachment without indifference and engagement without entanglement. Their dharma often involves learning when to yield and when to stand firm, qualities essential to their Deva identity. In relationships, Venus in Swati seeks graceful independence within committed connection. These individuals are sensitive to aesthetic and emotional environments. They prefer refined, mentally stimulating companionship over dramatic romance. The Devagana energy here creates a partner who evolves through love, values emotional ethics, and prioritizes spiritual and mental compatibility. Their love is like the wind, gentle, soothing, and free-flowing, yet capable of moving mountains when in alignment with truth.